Will Carney cement his place in history, or will a new face lead us into the future? The answer could change everything. Watch till the end to see a wild prediction revealed. Before we reveal Canada's potential 25th Prime Minister, let's take a moment to honor the leaders who shaped our nation. From triumphs to struggles, every PM has left an indelible mark. Their legacies have built the Canada we know today, and now a new chapter unfolds. So let's dive in.
First Prime Minister.
Sir John A. Macdonald. Years 1867, 1873, 1878, 1891. Political party, Conservative. Trust. Rating, 710. Positive legacy, Father of Confederation, Transcontinental Railway, established the national policy. Negative legacy, involved in the Pacific Scandal, treatment of indigenous peoples. MVP, meaning, most visionary pioneer. Quote, let us be English or let us be French, but above all, let us be Canadians.
Second Prime Minister.
Alexander Mackenzie. Years 1873-1878. Political party, Liberal. Trust rating, 6.510. Positive legacy, established the Supreme Court of Canada, introduced secret ballot voting, fiscal responsibility, expanded the Canadian Pacific Railway. Negative legacy, economic downturn during his term. MVP, meaning Bachi, most valuable politician. Quote, I am not here to make a fortune, I am here to do my duty.
Third Prime Minister.
Sir John Abbott. Years 1891-1892. Political party, Conservative. Trust rating, 610. Positive legacy, briefly led the country after Macdonald's death. Negative legacy, short-term, limited accomplishments. MVP, meaning, most vigilant politician. Quote, I am not a politician, I am a lawyer. I hate politics.
Fourth Prime Minister.
Sir John Thompson. Years 1892-1894. Party, Conservative. Trust rating, 6.510. Positive legacy, introduced the Criminal Code of Canada. Negative legacy, died in office. MVP, meaning, most visionary thinker. Quote, the law is the safeguard of liberty.
Fifth Prime Minister.
Sir Mackenzie Bowell. Years 1894-1896. Political party, Conservative. Trust rating, 4.5 to 10. Positive legacy, led the country during a period of economic growth. Negative legacy, Manitoba schools, question controversy. MVP, meaning most valiant politician. Quote, I am not a politician, I am a party man.
Sixth Prime Minister.
Sir Charles Tupper. Years 1896, 69 days. Political party, Conservative. Trust rating, 510. Positive legacy, briefly led the country, introduced the national policy. Negative legacy, short-term, limited accomplishments. MVP, meaning most valuable politician. Quote, I am not a politician, I am a doctor.
Seventh Prime Minister.
Sir Wilfrid Laurier. Years 1896-1911. Political party, Liberal. Trust rating, 810. Positive legacy, immigration boom, led Canada during a period of economic growth, French-English unity. Negative legacy, Naval Service Bill controversy, MVP, meaning most visionary Prime Minister. Quote, Canada is free and freedom is its nationality.
Eighth Prime Minister.
Sir Robert Borden. Years 1911-1920. Political party, Conservative Unionist. Trust rating, 7.5 to 10. Positive legacy, led Canada during World War I. Introduced income tax, women's suffrage. Negative legacy, conscription crisis, 1917. MVP meaning most valiant politician. Quote, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall.
Ninth Prime Minister.
Arthur Meighen, years, 1920, 1921, 1926, 3 months. Political party, Conservative. Trust, rating, 6 to 10. Positive legacy, led the Conservative Party, promoted national unity. Negative legacy, short terms, limited accomplishments. MVP, meaning most vigilant politician. Quote, the greatest thing in life is to learn how to give out love and let it come in.
10th Prime Minister.
William Lyon Mackenzie King, years, 1921, 1926, 1926 to 1930, 1935, 1948. Political party, Liberal. Trust rating, 8.5 to 10. Positive legacy, led Canada during World War II, promoted social welfare programs. Negative legacy, internment of Japanese Canadians, cryptic leadership style. MVP, meaning, most visionary Prime Minister. Quote, conscription if necessary, but not necessarily conscription.
11th Prime Minister.
R.B. Bennett, years, 1930-1935. Political party, Conservative. Trust rating, 6.5 to 10. Positive legacy, introduced the Canadian Wheat Board, established the Canadian Radio Broadcasting Corporation, New Deal-style reforms, Bank of Canada creation. Negative legacy, blamed for Great Depression handling. MVP, meaning most valiant politician. Quote, the old order is gone, a new Canada must be built.
12th Prime Minister.
Louis St. Laurent, years 1948-1957, political party, Liberal, trust rating, 8/10. Positive legacy, played a key role in the founding of NATO, infrastructure boom, Newfoundland's entry. Negative legacy, handling of the pipeline debate, perceived arrogance. MVP meaning, most visionary leader. Quote, the greatest thing in life is to learn how to give out love and let it come in.
13th Prime Minister.
John George Diefenbaker, years 1957 to 1963, political party, Conservative, trust rating, 7.5, 10. Positive legacy, introduced the Canadian Bill of Rights, promoted Canadian autonomy, Indigenous voting rights. Negative legacy, economic struggles, handling of the Cuban Missile Crisis. MVP meaning, most valiant politician. Quote, freedom is the right to be wrong, not the right.
14th Prime Minister.
Lester B. Pearson, years 1963 to 1968, political party, Liberal, trust rating, 8.5, 10. Positive legacy, introduced universal health care, promoted bilingualism, flag design, peacekeeping Nobel. Negative legacy, handling of the FLQ crisis, bilingualism tensions. MVP meaning, most visionary leader. Quote, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall.
15th Prime Minister.
Pierre Elliott Trudeau, years, 1968-1979, 1980-1984. Political party, Liberal. Trust rating, 8/10. Positive legacy, promoted Canadian unity, introduced the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, multiculturalism, patriated constitution. Negative legacy, handling of the FLQ crisis, introduction of the National Energy Program. MVP, meaning most visionary leader. Quote, the state has no business in the bedrooms of the nation.
16th Prime Minister.
Joe Clark, years, 1979-1980. Political party, Conservative. Trust rating, 6.5/10. Positive legacy, briefly led the country, promoted Canadian autonomy, fiscal restraint, refugee reforms. Negative legacy, short-term, limited accomplishments. MVP, meaning most valiant politician. Quote, we will not be intimidated by the terrorists.
17th Prime Minister.
John Turner, years, 1984, 79 days. Political party, Liberal. Trust rating, 6 to 10. Positive legacy, briefly led the country, promoted Canadian unity. Negative legacy, short-term, limited accomplishments. MVP, meaning most vigilant politician. Quote, I am not a politician, I am a lawyer.
18th Prime Minister.
Brian Mulroney, years 1984 to 1993. Political party, conservative, trust rating 7/10. Positive legacy, introduced free trade with the U.S., promoted Canadian autonomy, environmental treaties, GST. Negative legacy, Airbus scandal, constitutional failures, Meech Lake. MVP meaning, most valiant politician. Quote, Canada is a country that is proud of its diversity.
19th Prime Minister.
Kim Campbell, years 1993 132 days. Political party, conservative, trust rating 5.5/10. Positive legacy, first female Prime Minister of Canada. Negative legacy, short-term, party collapse to seats in 1993 election, limited accomplishments. MVP meaning, most visionary pioneer. Quote, I believe that women have a critical role to play in the development of our country.
20th Prime Minister.
Jean Chrétien, years 1993 to 2003. Political party, Liberal, trust rating 7.5/10. Positive legacy, promoted Canadian unity, introduced the Clarity Act, budget surpluses, gun control. Negative legacy, handling of the Quebec referendum, sponsorship scandal. MVP meaning, most valiant politician. Quote, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every.
21st Prime Minister.
Paul Martin, years 2003-2006. Political party, Liberal. Trust rating, 7/10. Positive legacy, introduced the Kelowna Accord, promoted Canadian autonomy. Negative legacy, sponsorship scandal, same-sex marriage, handling of the Gomery inquiry. MVP, meaning most visionary politician. Quote, we must not let our desire for security cloud our judgment.
22nd Prime Minister.
Stephen Harper, years 2006-2015. Political party, Conservative. Trust rating, 6.5/10. Positive legacy, promoted Canadian autonomy, introduced tax cuts, Afghan mission. Negative legacy, handling of the Senate scandal, environmental policies. MVP meaning, most valiant politician. Quote, Canada is a country that is proud of its diversity.
23rd Prime Minister.
Justin Trudeau, years 2015-2025. Political party, Liberal. Trust rating, 7.5/10. Positive legacy, implemented the Canada Child Benefit, carbon tax, played a key role in the Paris Agreement. Negative legacy, handling of the SNC-Lavalin scandal, cannabis legalization, inflation criticism, MVP. Meaning, most vibrant politician. Quote, diversity is the engine of invention. It generates creativity and commerce.
24th Prime Minister.
Mark Carney, years 2025 to present. Political party, Liberal Party. Trust rating, 5/10. Positive legacy. Before becoming Prime Minister, Carney had a distinguished career in finance and economics. He served as the Governor of the Bank of Canada from 2008 to 2013, and later as the Governor of the Bank of England from 2013 to 2020. Negative legacy. His decision to cut interest rates in 2008, while seen as a necessary measure to combat the financial crisis, also led to a spike in housing prices and household debt in Canada. MVP, meaning most valiant politician. Quote, assessing and reporting major risks does not mean becoming involved in politics. Rather, it would be political to suppress important judgments. Let us never forget the weight of leadership and the calling of those who guide our nations. The Word of God reminds us, honor all people, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the King. 1 Peter 2:17. Pray for kings and all who are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and reverence. 1 Timothy 2, 1-2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people groan. Proverbs 29:2. Leaders carry a sacred responsibility to serve with justice, wisdom, and humility before God. Though no leader is perfect, we are called to respect their role, pray for their guidance, and hold them accountable to God's standards. Let us remember their sacrifices, intercede for their wisdom, and strive to be citizens who uphold righteousness. For when leaders seek God's will, nations flourish. And when we honor godly authority, we honor the one who ordains it. Romans 13:1. Pray for your leaders, respect their office, and be a light that inspires integrity in all spheres of influence.
The suspense ends now. Let's reveal our wild prediction for Canada's 25th Prime Minister.
Running for 25th Prime Minister.
Pierre Poilievre, years, 2025, wild prediction. Political party, Conservative Party. Trust. Rating, 6/10. Positive legacy. Focus on economic issues such as reducing taxes, and regulations might lead to economic growth and increased business investment. Housing affordability, to encourage construction of new homes by slashing government regulation of Canada's high-cost housing sector could improve housing affordability for working families and young people. Plans to work on legislation promoting adoption and providing help for women in crisis pregnancies. Negative legacy, divisive politics, lack of support for social programs, climate change. MVP, meaning most valuable populist. Quote, a country's greatness isn't measured by its debt, but by the paychecks of its workers.
Wild prediction revealed. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who might be curious about Canada's future leadership.